In today's Daily Hustle, I want to talk about a thought that came to my mind the other day as I was watching some of these YouTube videos that I've put out at the beginning of the year, and watching how poor the quality was of these videos. Okay, now I set out the last few days of 2016. I set out with a goal, and the goal was I'm going to put out a daily video called the Daily Hustle series, which is what you're watching. I went to record my first week's videos because I record them a week at a time, and then some I record that day. It just depends on what's happening. And I didn't quite have the video dialed in, and I wasn't really thinking about it too much either. And you'll see that if you see the first few days videos, they're kind of weird. They're kind of weird lighting, not quite focused, that kind of thing. Now, some people might watch that video and say, oh, you know what? Forget this. I've got to really dial in my home studio. I've got to get a whole lighting kit. I've got to make sure I've got those reflectors, bouncing light. I've got to put makeup on. I've got to make sure that everything's dialed in. And they would spend another week or two, or maybe even 3 or 4 months getting it dialed in, like getting it to perfection, right? And in that week or 2 or 3 or 4 months, they wouldn't get anything done. They would not be moving their business forward. They would not be communicating with their audience like I have been. They would not be promoting things like I do once in a while. They wouldn't be building momentum. They would be busy in video production mode. Well, I have this kind of strategy or principle, I guess you could call it, that says imperfect action beats perfect non-action every time. In other words, if you take no action because you're busy focusing on trying to get something perfect, then you've gotten nothing done. But if you take imperfect action, and ideally massive amounts of action, then you're going to be so much further ahead than the person who's trying to figure it out. You know, there's an old saying that says, some people make things happen. Other people watch things happen. And then still other people wonder what the hell happened. And you don't want to be in that third category, and you definitely don't want to be in the second category, watching what happened. You want to be in the making things happen category. So if it's not perfect, if the lighting is weird, if the video looks a little off, don't worry about it. Move forward, take action, and improve as you go. Now, by the way, this happens a lot in the online teaching world as well. I see people that say, you know, it's taken me 10 hours to produce 10 minutes of video. And I'm thinking to myself, what? How does that happen? How does it take you 10 hours to produce 10 minutes of video? It doesn't make sense at all. And it's because they are overly perfectionistic. They're letting their perfectionism take over their action. Don't ever do that. You want to make sure that action takes priority. In a previous video, I said you want to have a bias toward action. Action is the winner. Action is the king. Action rules. Everything else takes a very distant second. Okay, so trying to get something dialed in, trying to get it perfect. I understand there's some circumstances where you want that, right? But if you're taking too much time doing that instead of actually taking action and moving things forward, then you're on the wrong track, and you need to change that. So, hope you enjoyed today's Daily Hustle. Remember, imperfect action beats perfect non-action any day of the week.